What's good, YouTube? This is RPU here, and I'm back again with another video. And guys, I want to talk to y'all about the greatest digital asset ever created, XRP, man. I've been binging XRP videos for the past 2 days, went down the rabbit hole, and came out even more confident in my investment and learned some new things too. So I just want to go on a quick rant about XRP because, XRP is bigger than we think. And in fact, I believe the Great Reset is XRP, and I'm going to explain why in this video. So, XRP has been called many things. XRP has been called a cryptocurrency. XRP has been called a security. It has been compared to a commodity. But in reality, XRP is the liquidity of last resort for the new financial system. Not only will XRP be adopted by banks like Santander, who said Ripple and XRP has the capability to save banks $15 to $20 billion a year in cross-border transaction fees. But there is strong evidence that XRP could be the new world reserve currency. Now, to understand why XRP could be the new SDR, we got to talk about the US dollar, geopolitics, and all this stuff because everything's connected. So, XRP has been in the works for a long time. There is evidence of Ripple working with the White House as far back as 2014. And we talk about cryptocurrencies and distributed ledger technology comes up all the time. David Schwartz is the one who has the patent for distributed ledger technology. He filed that patent in 1988. 1988. Which makes you think, like, how long has Ripple been working in the background, planning, this digital transformation in the internet of value? It makes you think, how long? But 1988, David Schwartz filed the patent for distributed ledger technology. The same year, The Economist magazine comes out with the Phoenix, saying, get ready for a world currency. Coincidence? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. So, let's talk about the current situation that's going on in the world right now in the financial markets. So, currently, the United States is the world reserve currency, right? A lot of people, 60% of all business in the world is conducted in US dollars. Now, thanks to our world reserve currency status, we get to print US dollars, to give to the rest of the world, and we import the goods that we need. But, the printing has gone out of control. Since the great financial crisis, we've been artificially stimulating the economy, and the stimulation has gone to hyperinflationary levels now in 2020, thanks to, the sickness that's going on. In Biden's first year, we just ran up a $2 trillion deficit. Our national debt is about to hit 30 trillion. That's not including unfunded liabilities, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. World debt is over $200 trillion. The entire world is drowning in debt, and central bankers have no more ammo left in the tank. Interest rates are at zero, and we have nothing left that they can do except print. And so they've been printing and printing and printing and artificially stimulating the economy. And it's causing inflation. And this inflation is being exported to other countries because they transact in dollars, right? And so you have developing nations all across the world who took out loans, dollar denominated loans, which have to be paid back in dollars, right? And as the Fed gets ready, there are talks of the Fed getting ready to raise interest rates. Okay, let me back up a little bit. Okay, so yeah, we print our dollars and we give them to the world, and we're causing inflation. It's called the Triffin dilemma, right? The Triffin dilemma is when a nation's currency is used as the world reserve currency, and it has conflicting interests for both its national and international interests. Now, interest rates are at zero, which makes money very cheap right now. It's easy for these developing nations and banks and people to borrow money so cheaply because interest rates are at zero. And so people took out a lot of loans on money because interest rates were basically zero. That money was basically free, right? So printing all this money has caused inflation, and so the Fed is backed in a corner. If the Fed keeps interest rates at zero, this is going to continue to cause rampant inflation. You can see it in the cost of living as rent and food and gas and everything else continues to go up. If the Fed decides to raise interest rates, this causes the cost of money to go up, which makes it cost more for countries to borrow, and the amount of interest that they have to pay back on their debt, including the United States, costs more. And so if these developing nations are unable to pay back these debts, then their governments default. And so we're starting to see economic stock market collapses in developing nations like Turkey and Argentina. But not only are their stock markets crashing, the value of their currencies are collapsing. You have the Turkish lira, hyperinflating. The Argentine peso dropped 45% against the dollar, right? And so these developed nations are starting to implode, and eventually this is going to come back to major nations, because these countries can no longer borrow at such cheap interest, which means they're not gonna have liquidity. They're not gonna have enough liquidity. And this liquidity crisis is going to be worldwide. It's going to spread worldwide. And so, like Gregory Mannarino says, there's going to be a credit freeze. Jim Rickards calls it Ice 9. Ice 9, where the entire financial system is frozen. Stocks are untradeable. You're not able to get cash out the ATM. Everything just goes dark. And at this time, there could be bank bail-ins and capital controls. Like, you'll only be able to pull out a certain amount of money on out the ATM, So this liquidity crisis is inevitable, right? And the bankers and the elites know this. And so around the world, leaders have been all calling for the same thing: a level playing field, a new world order. This new world order is a one world government, which may be the World Economic Forum. I'm not exactly sure, but a one world government and a one world currency. This has been in the works for years, probably before we were even born, right? All of our leaders and people in positions of power and influence all have ties to the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum. And so it seems like everybody is on one accord, no matter what the political party is. Everyone is on accord with this great reset. What is this great reset? This great reset involves the systematic dismantling of the United States and the replacement of the United States dollar as world reserve currency. Now, Klaus Schwab said in his book, COVID-19, The Great Reset, he warned in the chapter called The Fate of the U.S. Dollar. If the United States cannot get its uncontrollable spending under control and its trade budget deficits under control, then the United States world's currency status is at risk. But that is the plan. That removing the dollar as the world reserve currency is a part of the plan. That's the crazy part, right? And Joe Biden attends World Economic Forum meetings. He knows this. He probably, I don't know if he read the book. I mean, somebody probably talked to him about the book. The man has been taking pictures with Klaus Schwab, so I'm pretty sure he knows the agenda, And so, knowing this, our members of Congress are spending trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars with their infrastructure bill and their Build Back Better plan. This, along with the Fed printing billions and billions of dollars to buy bonds and stuff. And so other countries are starting to catch on to this. They're starting to catch on to the risks of holding U.S. dollars and the inflation. And Gregory Mannarino says that if you're holding dollars, you are losing 1% of your purchasing power every month. So if you hold your money in a bank account for a year, you are losing 11 to 12% of your purchasing power every year. That's crazy. And so there have been a lot of geopolitical events that have been going on. Our troops pulling up out of Afghanistan and China going in there. Russia and China moving away from the dollar. Threats of Russia being cut off from the SWIFT system. People are tired of the United States abusing its world reserve currency status. And so leaders like Klaus Schwab, Xi Jinping, Mark Carney of the Bank of England, Christine Lagarde, all calling for a currency reset, a level playing field. And I believe that this involves XRP. Now, if the dollar gets replaced as the world reserve currency status, what's going to take its place? Now, the United States has petrodollar status, which is slowly fading as people are going to be switching to the petro yuan, buying their oil in dollars, right? But so China's yuan is going to rise. China is going to rise along with talks of an SDR. an SDR. The SDR is a currency that is issued by the IMF. It's accepted universally anywhere and can be easily converted into a nation's local currency, right? And back in the day, the SDR was tied to a gram of gold. Did not know. I recently found that out. Shout out to Kirk, Chris, the God, and XRP, the one. The SDR has, back then, it was tied to, I believe, 1 gram of gold, right? Now, XRP has been compared to gold on many occasions by David Schwartz. There has been only 2 currencies that have had a gold correlation. That is Bitcoin and XRP. Now, there is a document in one of the documentaries from Love for Crypto which explains that the SDR was used as, it was seen as paper gold and was used as a source of liquidity. The SDR was considered as paper gold and a source of liquidity. XRP has been compared to gold on many occasions and is known as on-demand liquidity. Now, there has been many talks about the SDR. The World Economic Forum has talked about replacing the US dollar with the SDR. But Klaus Schwab has specifically talked about an ESDR, an electric SDR, maybe a cryptocurrency, right? A cryptocurrency as the SDR. Mark Carney, governor of the Bank of England, has said that a digital currency could alleviate some of the pressure off of the US dollar and, the Triffin dilemma. So, the elites are all saying the same thing, right? An ESDR, a level playing field, a new world order. So, I believe, and Ripple is everywhere. Ripple is working with the system. Ripple is so ingrained with the system. The SDR is issued by the IMF, right? We've seen Ripple executives are in bed, entrenched with the IMF. We've seen pictures of Brad Garlinghouse and Ryan Zagone with Christine Lagarde and members of the IMF, right? On multiple occasions. Ripple is on the Federal Reserve's Faster Payments Task Force. Come on, man. Ripple is working with the system. Oh my God. This is the best part. Like, Ripple invented the Interledger Protocol. Ripple invented the Interledger Protocol and gifted the Interledger Protocol to the W3C Consortium gifted it to them to be used as a global standard. The Interledger Protocol uses Hyperledger technology, which moves value across the Hyperledger through XRP. Everything is going to flow through XRP. When they say all the money, we're talking about all the money. We're talking about Fedwire. We're talking about everything. XRP is the liquidity, the infrastructure. The liquidity and the infrastructure for the new financial system and potentially the world reserve currency. But we have to understand that The rise of XRP means the fall of America. You need to understand that. The rise of XRP is the fall of America. Now, how far will we fall? I don't know. Will America become a third world country? I don't know, but it was already forecasted to us by the World Economic Forum in their predictions. They told us that America's role, dominance, and influence in the world would diminish and the world would be ruled by a handful of nations, China being one of them. They also told us that you will own nothing and be happy, right? But all of these leaders, all of these influencers, all of these elitist cryptographers are all saying the same thing. We need interoperability. We need a level playing field. We need regulation. We need a new world order. And XRP is right there, right in the middle of all of it. Right in the middle of all of it. Now, I've said a lot, but there's so much that more, but I can't remember it all. But man, XRP, I've never been more confident in my investment in XRP. Now, a lot of people we're all wondering, like, when is this going to happen? When is XRP going to move, right? So this is speculation. This is all speculation, what I'm about to say. Okay? So I've been listening to the Ghost of Crypto. Shout out to Kurt Christogau for putting me on Ghost of Crypto. Man, he has some great breakdown videos. The Grateful Dead and the Simpsons episode predicting XRP and distributed ledger technology. From now on, when you hear distributed ledger technology, think XRP, because David Schwartz is the one that has the patent for distributed ledger technology, right? So, The Simpsons in the episode called Think, where they were discussing cryptocurrency, there is a scene where this guy is handing a ledger to a sales representative because he's going to buy a jet ski. The lady's name is April, right? The lady's name is April. So, and the Ghost of Crypto tied the jet ski to Grateful Dead, which released a video called Ripple. You guys should go watch that video, man. It's mind-blowing. Okay? So, this guy is literally riding the Grateful Dead jet ski, riding the wave of Ripple, handing his ledger to a woman called April. So, are they telling us that Ripple is going to explode in April? I don't know. Let me tell you why I think Ripple may explode in April, sometime in April. It may not be this April. It may be next April. I don't know. It all depends on this case, right? But we just got word that the Fed is thinking about raising interest rates in March, right? Think about that. In March. Now, if you go back and look at that recent post from Bearable Guy, right? Look at the calendar. On the calendar in March, he has a date marked on the calendar with a heart, right? Is that date to mark the day that the Federal Reserve raises interest rates? Maybe, maybe not. But when the Fed raises interest rates, that's when we start having the liquidity crisis. I think that maybe the Fed is they're trying to probably hurry up and rush getting Ripple through this SEC case, because, we can only print so much because, we're already starting to see inflation, right? Inflation is through the roof. So this is unsustainable. So some people have said that this Ripple case may be over in April. Some people have said August, right? Look at the Bearable Guy picture. The sun on the calendar, it looks like it may be shining in April. but it may be shining in August too. It's hard to tell. Okay? So once the Fed raises interest rates, we're going to have a liquidity crisis. There's not going to be any liquidity. And I believe that Ripple needs to be ready to go and have on-demand liquidity ready for people to start using once this liquidity crisis kicks in. Because the stock markets are going to crash. The housing market is going to crash. The currency is going to crash. The US dollar is done. We're seeing that with geopolitics, with Saudi Arabia moving away from the dollar and all of that. So there's really nowhere for money to run except for precious metals, which will quickly become unobtainium, and cryptocurrencies. Those are the only places left to run. And I believe that maybe if Ripple doesn't moon this April, then maybe next year, I believe next April, it may be that the Fed may hold off on raising interest rates for another year. Maybe until this Ripple case is over. I heard from Love for Crypto that this Ripple case may continue until 2023, right? This case has been pushed back farther than LeBron James' hairline, man. Bruh, like, this case was filed in December 2020, man. It's been like 2 years. We're going on 2 years now with this case, man. And the entire world financial system is on the verge of collapse. And we need Ripple. We need to get regulation and XRP done ASAP, because XRP is the new financial system. XRP is the great reset. Man. And oh man, it's like, this is like, it's playing out like one of the greatest movies or one of the greatest dramas ever. Like politics, all of this geopolitics, the economy, it's like one of the greatest stories of all time. And Ripple is right there in the middle of it. And so that's my rant on Ripple for the day. I'm completely convinced now that XRP is the one. XRP is the liquidity of last resort for the new financial system and possibly the new world reserve currency. Let me know what you think, man. This is RPU, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.